Hi everybody, welcome to this week's live Q&A. I'm excited to be here. My name is Rebecca Smith. I am a high performance coach specializing in helping athletes age 8 to 18 get their mind-body connection strong so that they can unlock peak performance and, my personal favorite, maximum enjoyment. Basically, I help them perform happy so they can perform better. And I do this in a couple of different ways. I help people through one-on-one coaching services over Skype or FaceTime. And then I also have a complete online mental toughness training center called the Perform Happy Community. So if you're looking for a little bit of help unlocking the best athlete within you, feel free to find me in one of those ways. Now today's question comes from a swimmer. And this swim mom asks, she says, my son is 12 and does a lot of competitive swimming, which he gets extremely nervous about. How do you help him get out of his head and into his body? So that's something that I send emails about, is that you've got to get out of your head and into your body to unlock your very best sport performance. Because if you're up here in your head, burning a whole bunch of extra energy, worrying about what you should do to change whatever it is that might not feel right, ultimately, you're going to mess up. That's what I've noticed. I was working with a baseball player earlier today who said that he steps up to the plate, meanwhile analyzing everything he might do wrong, therefore making little changes to the way he holds the bat and the way that he stands, even though he knows he shouldn't be making any last-minute adjustments at the plate. So for you, swimmer, you shouldn't be making any new adjustments in the blocks. You shouldn't be making any new changes, no matter what. If it's competition day, you just go and you do what you've got. You've trained hours and hours and hours and hours. So if you could just let your body do its thing, my guess is that you would do pretty well. And if it was that easy, then I wouldn't be here talking to you. So I'm going to give you guys some suggestions today on how to get out of your head and stop that mind from going nuts, so you can just let your body do what it's good at. Now, I like to explain it like a monkey. So if you've ever been on vacation somewhere like Costa Rica or Bali where they've got monkeys, there are places you can go and there's just monkeys. They know tourists come there and they're ready for you. And these little monkeys sit up in trees and they wait. And when the tourists show up, they come down and they snatch your sunglasses off your head, or they eat your ice cream cone out of your hand, or they take your camera. And these little mischievous monkeys just can't wait because it's so fun to terrorize these poor tourists who, meanwhile, are laughing and taking pictures, so it's really a win-win. That's basically like your thinking mind. Your thinking mind is kind of like you've got this little mischievous monkey up there that's going to do whatever it wants. But then, so I was on vacation in Costa Rica, and one of the locals said, watch this. He grabs a banana, he peels it, and hands it to this monkey, and then this monkey sits still, enjoys its banana, and then as soon as the banana's done, he's back to, terrorizing the tourists again. But what I've learned about our minds is that you have to give your mind a banana, so to speak. You have to give your mind a job so that it won't just be, jumping around from thought to thought to thought to thought, doing whatever it pleases. Instead, you give your mind something to do, and then it can anchor in long enough for you to get in touch with your body. So that's the first part of this question, I think, is about how to gain a little bit of control over that monkey mind. And one really simple way is to breathe. You just stop, take a second, and inhale for 3, hold, and exhale for 5. I'm guessing that for those, whatever 12 seconds of your life, you were thinking about your body. You were thinking about your breathing. If you simply just do that, I once was at a swim meet with a guy who was a phenomenal swimmer, but would get really, really nervous. And all I said right before was, why don't you just take a breath and get in your body? And it can be that simple. Of course, there are other ways you can go too, so I'll give you some more suggestions. But if all you take away from this today is just to stop and breathe, you're going to be better off than if you're up in your head overthinking things. So back to my baseball player from earlier. we discovered he already is doing this. He's already taking a breath. He stopped, he steps up to the plate, he taps his bat a couple of times, he takes a deep breath, and then he gets ready. And what he usually does during that time is he starts thinking about what could go wrong. So we decided that we're going to give his mind a job of hit the ball hard. That's it. We're not going to try to do it perfect. We're not going to worry about if it's going to be a ball or a strike. We're just going to hit the ball hard. That's it. We're just going to make it really simple for our monkey mind. He's going to be thinking about tapping his bat. He's going to be thinking about breathing. And then he's going to be thinking about the ball and hitting it hard. And that's it. And then for the swimmer, it's thinking about shaking out your arms or doing whatever it is, whatever your routine is behind the blocks, something that gets you in the right physical state where you're feeling your arms moving. Some people will even clap or slap their arms or slap their legs. And that actually gets you in your body as well. It brings you down from the thinking and just feeling, snapping your fingers, clapping your hands, even clenching your fists really tight and then releasing them can be a good way to release some of that energy. And that's actually a skill that is taught in the sports psychology world, is called progressive relaxation, where you go through every single muscle in your entire body. So you start up at your eyes and you scrunch them up really tight. And then you relax them, and then you do it with your nose and your mouth all the way through your entire body. And each of those relaxations not only relaxes your body, but also trains your brain to remember how to relax whenever you need it to in very specific muscles. And I actually put together an audio file it's a 13-minute audio with 3 different relaxation exercises on it that you are welcome to download for free. That's at CompletePerformanceCoaching.com/relax. And this is something that if you've got 15 minutes before you're going to get there to the meet and you're just rattling out of your skin, you can put it on, just listen, and it kind of guides you inward. It guides you into your body to pay attention to different muscles, to breathe in a specific way, and also to let go of certain thoughts. So if that interests you, you can download that right now. And then some other things. There's this acronym that I like to use for remembering where to focus. So we like that, we can give our monkey the banana of breathing. But then there's also different things. Sometimes you don't need to be thinking about breathing. You need to be thinking about, moving around the court or staying on the balance beam. So my acronym is WIN, W-I-N, which is you're not thinking about the win. That's usually what gets people freaked out to begin with. They're thinking about the time. They're thinking about winning or losing or anything outside of themselves. Win is what's important now. That's it. What should I be doing in this moment that will move me toward what I want? Is it the breathing pattern? Is it the stroke? What is the one thing that's important right now? And if you can't think of anything, then you just breathe. But of course, there's always one thing. And if you already have it planned, and I actually have a whole training on focus in the Perform Happy community in the Flow series, that's all about figuring out what you need to focus on, what your potential distractions are so you can be prepared for them, and then you're ready to think about the right things, what's important now in the moment. Now, I'll give you one final example that kind of relates back to the baseball and then also for any golfers out there. When you're getting ready to do a controlled skill, so that's a skill that you do the same way every time. So this is for your divers, your skaters, people who do the same skill every single time in exactly the same way. You don't want to be changing things last minute. And these skills can be up against a phenomenon called the yips. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but they sometimes call it the yips in tennis with your serve or with your golf ball or with your pitch. And it's when unnecessary tension tightens up your body and makes you do weird stuff under pressure. And then all of a sudden you can't serve when it's the game point and you just can't, and you don't know why. And every single time you get to that point, that happens. Or you just can't get your bat to move the way you want it to in a certain situation. And what I like to have people do is a combination of stop and breathe, visualize what you want to have happen. So if you're golfing, you actually watch your little imaginary golf ball go up, over, you watch the way that the wind carries it, and then it lands exactly where you want it right on the hill in that little green patch. You know, you get really specific and you aim your intention at a specific spot. Then you just hit the ball. You don't go, okay, now I need to let the tricep contract and then my core is going to, you don't think about that because that's already in there. Your brain is very powerful. And if you just have your brain focused on exactly where you want it to go, the rest of it will work itself out. There are no professional golfers with a perfect swing, but they have perfect focus. And this can be the same with swimming. You know, you think about exactly what you want to have happen. And I'm not talking about the time, I'm talking about the technique. You know, exactly where you want to hit the water, exactly what you want your turn to be like. If you're a gymnast, you think about exactly what you want that routine to look like. If you're up to bat and you're a baseball player, you think exactly where you want that ball to go, you know, line drive up the middle. And then you just do it. You know, you get your monkey in place, give it something to do, whether it's breathe or look at a certain point, and you just go do it. Now, this takes practice because we are actually rewiring your brain to not overthink and try to change things and fix things. Because really, once you're up there, you're done. Your training is done. You just get up and you do your best and then you learn from it. So if anybody has any other questions that you want answered here live, you can email me directly at rebecca@performhappy.com. If you want to get your hands on that free download of the relaxation exercises, you can go to completeperformancecoaching.com/relax. And I look forward to seeing you guys again soon.